Hi, I'm Clive Gillinson, the Executive and Artistic Director of Carnegie Hall. And as always, it's wonderful to welcome you all back to Live with Carnegie Hall, and especially to be able today to welcome Rosanne Cash to our program. So Rosanne, fantastic to have you with us and welcome.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again, even not in the analog world.
Rosanne, we really treasure our partnership with you at Carnegie Hall, and it's had so many dimensions to it. Of course, a few years back, we had your Major Perspective series. Last fall, which seems like a lifetime ago now, you did that extraordinary concert with Wright. And then we've had this series of American Byways performances that you've curated with so many extraordinary and very, very differing artists of every kind. So thank you. And we really treasure not just the past, but really looking forward as well to a future exploring with you.
Curating those shows was some of the most fun I've had in the last decade. And it was thrilling to see people who hadn't played Carnegie Hall come there, and the audience's minds were blown, like by St. Paul and the Broken Bones or by Wright and Ricky Skaggs. There were so many wonderful artists, and I really look forward to getting back in those rooms and bringing more American roots musicians back to Carnegie Hall.
Rosanne, you're a fantastic artist, a great curator, and you're also an extraordinary storyteller as well. And I just wondered, I mean, in terms of your life and what you're trying to do on the stage, because we think more and more in terms of trying to make concerts and projects around storytelling. Is this a central philosophy for you as well?
Oh, I definitely think so. We survive through our stories, and we connect to the past and to our children through our stories. And much of American roots music is founded in kind of an oral history of these stories about transferring them from the British Isles and Celtic songs and how they went through Appalachia. There's no recording. These people learn songs from their parents and grandparents, and they've been passed down to us. And in those songs are the stories of their lives, of their immigration, of their loss, of their homes, and who they loved and who they lost and what they lost. And those stories are so rich to me, and they're essential to who we are as Americans, and bringing these artists, these American roots artists, to Carnegie Hall with those stories, and to tap into our collective unconscious of the songs and the music, that means everything to me. It's how I'm grounded to the earth.
Rosanne, today's particular project is around protest song, and how does one change the society one lives in through music and song. So I think you've sadly been very prescient in the planning for today.
Protest songs are part of our tradition, I mean, back to Woody Guthrie and before that, protest songs are a part of folk music and American music, and we can always use them as touchstones for whatever time we're in, whatever societal catastrophes and ills need to be addressed. There is music for that. From Woody up to Tom Morello, Nina Simone, Mavis Staples. And the music I do, and so many of the people in my world do, wouldn't exist without Black musicians. They're the forebearers, and to not acknowledge that, and in this show, along with the protest, it makes sense to me that both have to be done.
So Rosanne, a big thank you again for joining us today on Live with Carnegie Hall. It's fantastic to be working with you again, both as an artist and as a human being. I mean, I think your values and all you try and do through music and through your life are things that really mean a lot to us and are central to what Carnegie Hall believes in as well. And so we look forward to a fantastic program. And I know you're starting off with 2 songs, and one of them I think you recorded from your home today, and you're lucky, well, not lucky, you're well equipped, in as much as you actually have a studio, which I certainly don't. And I'd love you to introduce them both, please.
Thank you. And by the way, thank you for asking me to do this. It's an honor and a pleasure. The first song is one I performed. It's a Bob Dylan song. He released it in 1983, and it's really about, if I can be so bold as to interpret Bob Dylan's song, about imperialism and the environment and violence. And I started doing this song live during the Iraq War, and it somehow seemed appropriate to do it now. It's Bob Dylan's License to Kill. And right after that, we're going to go straight into one of the most beautiful souls working in music today, Lizz Wright. I look to people like her for inspiration, those people who just exude beauty and love and tolerance. So here is License to Kill and Lizz Wright's Blessed Be Brave.
1, 2, 3.
Man thinks, 'cause he rules the earth, can do with it as he please. And if things don't change soon, he will. Man has invented his doom. The first step was touching the moon. Now there's a woman on my block. She just sit there as the night grows still. She say, who's gonna take away his license to kill? Now they take him and they teach him, and they groom him for life, and they set him on a course where he's bound to get ill. Bury him with stars, sell his body like they do used cars. Now there's a woman on my block. She just sit there facing the hill. She say, who's gonna take away his license to kill? Now he's hell-bent for destruction. He's afraid and confused, and his brain has been mismanaged with great skill. And all he believes are his eyes, and his eyes just tell him lies. But there's a woman on my block. She just sit there in a cold chill. She say, who's gonna take away his license to kill? Maybe noisemaker, spirit maker, heartbreaker, backbreaker, leave no stone unturned. Might be an actor in a plot, might be all that you got till your errors clearly learned. Now he worships at an altar of a stagnant pool, and when he sees his reflection, he's fulfilled. Man is opposed to fair play. He wants it all and he wants it his way. Now there's a woman on my block. She just sit there as the night grows still. She say, who's gonna take away his license to kill?
Hearts may break, I know, 'cause I have one. But let my kindness be like blindness, counting days as you go away. And blessed the brave, lost in the waves. And honey, blessed the strong, really strong, that no love will carry on. I'm counting days, oh darling, it cuts both ways. Sweet tears may fall, I know, while you fade, but let your kindness be like blindness, counting days, living in this grace. And honey, blessed the weak, the river run deep. And honey, blessed the scared, really scared, that no love is still there. Let your kindness be your blindness, counting days while it fades.
This moment in America is full of so much pain and such a need for understanding, a longing for understanding. And I am encouraged because I think the work is worth it. I'm curious who I am without being afraid. I'm curious who I am without all of this additional suffering. I'm curious who you are without the roles that you've been stuck in, without the ways that you have not been given a chance to reveal who you are. I'm curious. And it's because of what I haven't seen that I wanna work, I wanna be patient, I wanna find a way, I wanna keep defining my best and offering that.
The song is Blessed the Brave. The singer is Lizz Wright, part of this Live with Carnegie Hall program curated by Rosanne Cash. I'm John Schaefer from New York Public Radio, WNYC and WQXR. And Rosanne, the theme of protest and memory, those are linked themes, aren't they? Because protest can't just occur in a vacuum. It has to grow out of something, out of an awareness of what's come before.
And that's why I chose an historical clip that we'll see later on. But yeah, you're right. Evolution builds on itself, and the evolution of consciousness and what we're willing to tolerate in a society, what needs to change. what people are resisting, what they're embracing. All of that goes back to, you know, Woody Guthrie and before. The history of protest songs, like I was saying to Clive earlier, it's part of our collective unconscious. It's part of the American songbook. This is why it floors me when people who disagree with me politically, and I see it happen to every other artist I know, they say some version of just shut up and sing. First, that's anatomically impossible. And second, you know, should you send that memo to Mavis Staples and Woody Guthrie and my dad and Tom Morello and, you know, Bruce Springsteen? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. All music is in some way political, because the best it can do is change you.
Well, and another of the best things it can do is to unite us. And while Lizz Wright's song doesn't present as a traditional protest song, it is a call for communion, for community, you know?
And she's one of those artists who will, she's a goddess, you know, she will exude this healing and beauty and love and not get down in the dirty trenches with people like her.
So what about the idea of a kind of memory for the future, a longing for, you know, a future where Martin Luther King's famous saying comes true, that the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice?
Right. Well, first, John, I'm going to steal that line you just kind of threw out about memory of the future. That's really good.
Just spitballing here, you know.
Spitballing. I mean, and when I think about what that really means, I think about what we envision for our children, right? What if we were time travelers, what we would say we did right to lead to a better future. And honestly, as disturbing and as difficult as the time we're in right now, I keep thinking of that model in physics where things fall apart so they can be rebuilt at a better level. And I keep thinking of that metaphor. It's what allows me to sleep at night, that we are moving to something better, and it's painful to get there.
Well, we've got a couple of songs to listen to next, one of which is a historic clip, as you mentioned, but the next one is Elvis Costello. The song's called Big Stars Have Tumbled. And this, first of all, Elvis has also done a version of License to Kill. But this is a song from a musical he's been working on for a long time, based on the story A Face in the Crowd, about a guy who seems like a person who speaks truth to power and is brought down by the contempt he has for the very people he purports to represent. So it's almost too easy to draw parallels with a figure right now, but
for the moment. But Elvis said this great line, you know, he and I were talking about what this song means, and it's the last show, and the last song in the show, in A Face in the Crowd, that he wrote for the play that will be staged. And he said it was the rage of a humbled monster whose corruption has been revealed. So it's apropos, and you know, it's Elvis, and he filmed this from British Columbia and sent it to me. So I have that.
And then we'll go back in time to the great Nina Simone, who, like almost everybody else on this program, had a long history and relationship with Carnegie Hall. And the song Revolution, that is a striking tune. What made you pick that?
Well, I adore Nina Simone, and her, I mean, she was difficult, you know. I don't think she was a very accessible, warm person who you could engage with. And she was tormented, really. And that raw torment in her music really appeals to me. I chose this one partly because she did it outdoor in a park, and you can see the audience, you know, really just getting into it. And it's she reworked the Beatles' Revolution, and it just suits her so well. You know, sometimes how a song just, it's like a glove to someone who reinterprets it. I felt that way about this. And, you know, John, we should say too that everybody in the show has performed at Carnegie Hall, except for one person who we will mention later, and we've got to get her here.
All right, well, let's watch both of these songs, Elvis Costello with Big Stars Have Tumbled, and then Nina Simone's Revolution.
Big stars have tumbled, falling from a tearful sky. Big stars have tumbled, I can't tell you why. This old yard dog is head as day, and old lonesome will just be on his way. Big stars have tumbled, big stars have tumbled. I don't want your money, I don't want your pity. I used to own this country, now I've no use for the city. Big stars are tumbling, falling from a tearful sky. Now I'm battered, bruised, and humbled. Once I spoke up and the whole world trembled. Big stars who tumbled, big stars who tumbled, big stars who tumbled, big stars who tumbled. I didn't mean to disappoint you. Take my name, say my name. I could chain or I could taunt you. Take my hand, touch my face, feel my sin, feel my grace. You could advertise for 100 men, not one could take my place. Don't look at me that way, woman. I'm in a lonesome mood. Don't show me any mercy, just a little gratitude. Big stars are tumbling, falling from a tearful sky. You'll be sorry when you miss me. Mrs. Judas, will you come on and kiss me goodbye? Big stars who tumbled, big stars who tumbled, big stars who tumbled, big stars who tumbled. Go to sleep, go to sleep. Go to sleep, go to sleep.
Okay, we will do. Oh shoot. Maybe we'll do them both, I don't know. Hey, we're in the middle of a revolution, because I see the face of things to come. Yes, I do. Oh, your Constitution. Well, my friend, it's gonna have to bend. I'm here to tell you about the destruction of all the evil. It will have to end. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. just to stay alive. But it's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. I'm talking about a revolution because I'm talking about a change. It's more than just air pollution. Well, you know, we all got to clean our brains. The only way that we can stand, in fact, is when they get that foot off our back. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. What to do now? I'm telling you. I'm gonna tell you now. Soon you'll know. Soon you'll know. It will be through. It's all gonna be all over. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 now. What do you see? What do you see now? 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. I've got my stick. I've got my stick now. Do your thing. Do your thing now. Whenever you can. Whenever you can. When you must. When you must now. Do take your stand. Do take a stand. Well, all right. 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 Everything's gonna be all right. Well, all right. It's gonna be all right. Well, all right. All right. Well, all right. Hey, now. Well, all right. Well, now. Well, all right.
Live with Carnegie Hall, curated by Rosanne Cash, and we've just heard Revolution from Nina Simone, and before that a song from Elvis Costello, recorded in quarantine, called Big Stars Have Tumbled. And Rosanne, there's a striking line when Nina Simone sings, "People say I'm preaching hate." And then she follows it with the line, "But I crossed an ocean to communicate." This idea that that one of the functions of art is to raise difficult ideas and to pose difficult questions and maybe not have all the answers. That seems to be a really important part of a lot of the songs that we're hearing as part of this protest and music program.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that artists, that you want to respect the listener and their own interpretations. But, you know, one of the great functions of art, and which makes it kind of a service industry, is to reflect back to people their own level of evolution. I hate to use that word again, or their own feelings. I mean, at bottom, their own feelings. And it's not like in live performance, people don't come to see my feelings, they come to feel their own feelings, you know? And I mean, Nina Simone, that was incredibly powerful. And we've got a couple of other really powerful performances coming up as well.
Well, when we get to this next song by Ry Cooder, there is a kind of a quiet but almost visible anger in this performance. Can you be human? I mean, right there in the title is a question that probably everybody has asked of some politician, whatever their political leanings, at some point.
It certainly is. And I would go beyond anger and say that there's a lot of rage in this song. And it's a very spooky melody too. He wrote it and recorded it in one morning. And then he sent it to me and he said, look what I did this morning. And the first thing I said is, can I have that for my Carnegie Hall show? It was kind of perfect timing. You know, Ry is a socially conscious guy. He feels deeply. It comes out in his music, like all great musicians. And, but it's balanced by Mark Cohn, who follows him.
And then Mark Cohn has chosen an interesting song, an old Creedence Clearwater Revival tune called Long as I Can See the Light. And again, the idea of art's ability to use metaphor. This is a song about someone who's lost, who is literally adrift, but
Yeah,
it can also be taken as being morally adrift as well.
that's true. And it's a great counterbalance to Ry's song, you know, because Long as I Can See the Light is really, there's a lot of longing in there, and longing for connection too. And Mark is such a beautiful singer, you know, and the way he delivers it with a kind of whimsy and kindness. Not that Ry isn't kind, of course he is. But Ry contrast to that song, and both recorded in quarantine, as you mentioned.
Right, right. Ry Cooder first with a song that that is almost spoken more than sung. It's called "Can You Be Human?"
Can you be human? That's all we want to know. If you can't be human, you just got to bottle up and go. The president must be human. Constitution makes it plain. So, here's your one-way ticket on the Florida downbound train. Your suitcase is packed. Trunk's already gone. Say goodbye to your so-called friends, and that won't take too very long. You know, evolution teaches. Man shook down from a monkey tree. Well, if you can't be human, then a monkey you must be. You're moving backwards, and it sure gives me the future blues towards child labor, Jim Crow, and high-top button shoes. Can't you be human? That's all we want to know. If you can't be human, you just got to bottle up and go. You know, all politics is lying, smart gal once said, so we're told. You have cast those words into solid gold. You set the lion bar way up. Truth to you I'll tell. That's why I call you Mr. Nickel and a Nail. Call yourself a man of faith, but here's the straightest rule. Faith is as faith does. You never learned that in Sunday school. You stop the virus, that's the nickel. You love Jesus, that's the nail. Can't you be human? That's all we want to know. If you can't be human, you got to bottle up and go. A rich man bargained for his soul on his dying bed. angel appeared to him, and this is what she said. We don't take cash in heaven. Your credit has run stale. Your soul is worth exactly a nickel and a nail. Can't you please be human? That's all we want to know. 'Cause if you can't be human, you got to bottle up and go. And go. Just go. Put a candle in the window, 'cause I feel I got to move. Though I'm going, I'll be coming home soon. Long as I can see the light. Pack my bag, baby, let's get moving. 'Cause I'm bound to drift a while. Though I'm gone, you don't have to worry, baby. Long as I can see the light. I guess I got that old traveling bone. 'Cause this feeling won't leave me alone. But I won't be losing my way. Long as I can see the light. See the light. Put a candle in the window, 'cause I feel I've got to move. Though I'm going, I'll be coming home soon. As long as I can see the light. As long as I can see the light. As long as I can see the light. Hey.
That's John Fogerty's song, Long as I Can See the Light, which he originally recorded with Creedence Clearwater Revival, but that's Mark Cohn's version done in quarantine for this Live with Carnegie Hall program that Rosanne Cash has put together on the theme of protest and memory. And, you know, Rosanne, it's hard to talk about protest songs without going to one of the classics. I mean, Change Is Gonna Come is, for half a century, has been kind of the collective voice of Americans who know there's something better out there and are just trying to find a way to get there.
That is very well put. And Sam Cooke's version of this song is, I think it's central to the American experience. I mean, I've listened to this song a million times, and I'm sure you have too. And there's something beautifully eerie about it. And again, so full of longing and hope. And it feels like he's singing a song that he will not see the outcome. He will not see that change. And indeed he didn't, because he died shortly after that. But the song, I think, is a touchstone for so many of us who John, you mentioned Martin Luther King earlier, and this song, I think, is a parallel comment and a parallel yearning that the arc of the moral universe is long, that it bends towards justice, and a change is going to come.
Well, tell us about this particular version that we're about to hear. We have two extraordinary singers joining us.
Yeah. Brandi Carlile and Gary Clark Jr. I mean, I'm proud of myself for thinking of putting those two people together. And, you know, on paper, you never know how something is going to work. This made such poetic and musical and soul sense to hear them together. It's quite remarkable.
Well, it's still a great song half a century later. There have been many great versions, and we're about to hear another one with Brandi Carlile and Gary Clark Jr. and
John Leventhal. He recorded the music here in our home studio. So a change is going to come with Brandi Carlile, Gary Clark Jr., and John Leventhal.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. Been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
So I go to the movies and I go downtown.
Somebody keep telling me don't hang around.
It's been a long time coming. I know that
a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me, please.
But he winds up and knocking me. Genuinely, he winds up and knocking me until I am back down on my knees.
Oh, there have been times when I thought I couldn't last for long.
But now I think I'm able.
Now I think that I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come.
Oh, yes, it
yes,
will.
it will.
The song is A Change Is Gonna Come. Brandi Carlile and Gary Clark Jr., John Leventhal doing some home studio magic there, Rosanne, with that
Yeah.
arrangement.
Yeah, I got I got really choked up again, John. I mean,
Well, I mean, look, that is,
seriously, at this point in history, it's even more moving.
yeah. Now, we wanted to offer some of our viewers a chance to ask a few questions, and we have people who've been tuning in from all over the world, from Mexico and Germany, from the Pacific Northwest, Washington State, to the Southeast, Florida. And so we've got a couple of questions. Laurie on Facebook wants to know what American myth has best been shattered or revealed by a particular protest song. Can you think of an example of a protest song that has actually kind of shown us a path and a way to get there?
Wow, that's a great question. I would want to do my research before I gave a definitive answer, but the first thing that came to mind is this line in Woody Guthrie's song Pretty Boy Floyd, where he said, "Some will rob you with a 6-gun and some with a fountain pen." I think that opened a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah. And then Lisa, also watching us on Facebook. America needs a new rallying song, strong, melodic, powerful. Any suggestions?
Well, we revisited A Change Is Gonna Come. It's entirely appropriate and important right now. I think that a lot of songwriters are writing right now. They're inspired to write, myself as well. And we'll have to see what comes out of this. I think we're still in the thick of it, but something is going to come out of it that's great. I truly believe.
I'm hearing and noticing a lot of people either referencing or outright singing Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, you know, which is a 1970 song that 50 years later is both relevant and resonant even today. So, you know, there are tunes that, you know, that survive their moment. I mean, if you think of a song like Buffalo Springfield's For What It's Worth,
Right.
you know.
Or Who'll Stop the Rain, or Mississippi Goddamn, or Strange Fruit. There are many, many songs that are touchstones right now.
Yeah. Strange Fruit, a great example as well. Rebecca on Facebook asks, do you think Americana songs are getting more attention because of the current environment? You know, we've got a pandemic, we've got political unrest. Does it just feel right now to dive into this music?
It always feels kind of right to me, but if she's referring to music that has real grit, that are story songs that are played with real instruments, you know, songwriters who are going deep, then yeah, I would think so. I mean, and it connects us to the American life.
Yeah. Well, and you know, also the fact that we have been for now 3 months kind of sheltering in our homes and, you know, unable to be the communal beings that humans naturally are, I think has a lot of people kind of looking for other ways to reach out and feel connected to other people. And I think, for example, the 7 o'clock clap here in New York, which is 8 o'clock apparently in LA and different times, different places. But, you know, that may not be the most musical experience. I find it personally quite musical. But, you know, that's a kind of communal roots music in a sense.
What you're talking about a sense of community, whether it's through music or the 7 o'clock cheer, or the taking food to healthcare workers, or standing up for your neighbor when they're down, you know, it's that sense of community will save us. And the community that's created in live performance between an audience and a performer, we don't have that right now. So we're looking for other ways to create community for ourselves. And I have to believe that even though this is a virtual experience, John, that we are creating community. You see those questions coming in. We see people's little hearts flying up, you know, and they've joined us, and we're here. We're together, even though it's a screen.
Well, and you and John Paul White have done a song and a video that kind of speaks directly to this moment as well. Tell us a little bit about We're All in This Together Now.
It has a title that's become kind of a cliche, so I cringe a little bit when I hear the title, but the sentiment is real and true. John Paul and I wrote this song before the pandemic started, and it was just sitting there on a shelf. We didn't know what to do with it. Then this catastrophe began, and we said, this is the right time to record it together. So we recorded it remotely. And then his team put together this beautiful video. It honors the healthcare workers. This is, we're all in this together now. And before we go to that, I want to thank you, John, so much for having this conversation with me and leading me through this.
It's been great fun.
Yeah.
And you've done a terrific job putting this together.
Thank you. And thanks, Carnegie Hall.
All right, let's hear Rosanne Cash and John Paul White with We're All in This Together Now.
Daddy was a Baptist, and your mama loved to dance. You were born in Memphis, but you live in Paris, France. You may lose your faith in everything, or you may take a solemn vow. But from this day on, my friends and foes, we're all in this together now.
You may love the carousel or the silence of the trees. You may be the last one standing or the queen of all you see. And some rest easy on the mountain, some sweat behind the plow. But make no mistake, for heaven's sake, we're all in this together now.
Night will fall, the wind will howl, all those things we love so well. Empires crumble while we sleep. Oh, but you must have a story to tell. Wake up now, I wanna hear it. Wake up now.
I love you like a brother, and I don't know you at all.
Heard your voice across the wire, and I never thought you'd call. So hold tight the sword, hold fast the sail, 'cause we might be taken down. It's a lonely world,
but it's our only